When people ask me the most profound thing that I did to help me heal, I say it was absolutely the brain retraining, cold therapy, and breath work. Now, let me explain to you why this works. So, our bodies are very smart and they go into ways of thinking that they're protecting us at certain times. So, when we have pattern loops of behavior that our brain goes through and starts to cycle and think, oh, this is something I need to do to serve me, it gets stuck in those loops. And then we end up having things happen that become chronic. For instance, the biggest thing for me, and I think a thing a lot of people with chronic illnesses, including Lyme disease and toxic mold, have in common is that leaky gut is a big thing. Now, what is leaky gut? Leaky gut is when we have our intestinal walls getting inflamed and breaking down the skin and the tissues and the mucosal lining around them, so that we end up with these, like, let's imagine my fingers spaces are the intestinal walls. So there's molecules that are just big enough to pass through where you can see the light going through between my fingers. And these molecules are beneficial to our body. These molecules are the molecules that can nourish our cells, and we can do what we need to do with them to continue to regenerate cells and grow and everything like that. Now, when we end up with mucosal lining that becomes like tarnished, it's starting to break apart. We don't have enough mucus on the lining. We start to have holes that so we start to have these spaces that are too big in our intestinal walls. So now molecules of food that are too big for our cells to actually take in the nutrients that it needs are passing through these walls. So we have all these giant molecules of food. Well, our body sees that and it's super smart and it goes, wait a minute, these are invaders of some kind. We can't do anything with this. These are just going into our bloodstream, going through our organ systems, trying to go to our cells and causing inflammation. So what does the body do? It sends out white blood cells to those giant molecules of food that are coming through, and it eats them up. And it sends out a histamine response. Now, we have a histamine reaction to the food we're eating, i.e., we have a food allergy response to this. So these molecules of food that are small enough that are the good sizes that can actually nourish our cells are going through, but we also have these molecules of food that are too big that are going through. So it doesn't differentiate between these molecules of food that are just the right size to go through the walls or the ones that are too big to go through. So we end up having a histamine response to that food every single time we eat it. The body learns more and more and more and begins to have more histamine responses to that food. It starts to see it right away and go, oh, this is not okay. This is an invader. We need to attack this. And now we have a food allergy response or a food sensitivity response. And that can show up in rashes, breathing problems, anaphylactic shocks at the most extreme, and many other different things. So as these molecules of food are passing through, you have more and more food allergies, more and more things that the body is recognizing as something as an invader that's coming through these leaky gut walls, this mucosal lining that isn't serving you right now. So the brain, the body, the nervous system, the immune system, the autonomic nervous system is picking up on things through these messages and saying, oh, wait a minute, we have to protect ourselves here. We better send out the histamine response to these foods because our gut is inflamed. Once the gut becomes inflamed and once these things start happening, the food allergies start happening, now you have these responses in the body that the body doesn't need to be doing that are sending out these extra energy supplies to attack these food molecules. When the gut is leaky and inflamed, the rest of the body becomes leaky and inflamed. You start having joint pain, muscle problems, tendon and ligament problems, brain fog, all these different things that keep happening. Your body starts to get tired. Your body is going through fatigue. And so now your body is trying to figure out how to survive and operate. So it's this whole long thing that begins to happen. Now, a way to stop these triggers and stop these things from happening, you can do many, many things. One thing is breath work to bring down the inflammation in the body, and also cold therapy to bring down the inflammation in the body. So when we are bringing down inflammation in the body through cold therapy and breath work, we are temporarily alkalizing the body and very, very acutely and very, very strongly for a short period of time with breath work. That And the cold therapy, getting into cold water, allows for these pattern loops of behavior that our brain has been doing, that our body, our nervous systems, our autoimmune systems, everything have learned to pick up to protect ourselves, like sending these white blood cells out, as an example, of one of many things. Now it can't do that in that moment. So the way that I was able to get rid of a ton of my food allergies was through brain retraining and cold therapy and breathwork. Now, specifically what I did through getting rid of the food allergies was, once I knew that my system had gotten to a place where I could start to try to reintroduce food into my system again, I was also taking something called Ketotifen, which is an antihistamine that works for mast cell disorder, to help as a crutch temporarily while I did this food allergy stuff. And again, this is just what I did. I'm not saying this is what everybody's past should be, but this is my personal journey and story. I would do a round of breath work or two. And then I was very, for instance, sensitive and had a big reaction to tomatoes. And so I would have food, my mouth would start peeling like on contact with tomatoes, and I would start to develop a rash around my mouth. It was like instant. So I would do a round or two of breath work to alkalize the body. And my brain would go into a state of, wait a minute, I can't do these pattern loops of behavior right now because I'm trying to survive, because I'm in a state of shock right now, because my body is going into this respiratory alkalosis at the moment. Alkalosis, alkaline, is on the pH scale, so you can be very acidic or you can be alkaline. Neutral 7 is good. That's where we want our bodies to be. But to help us through this, we can get to a temporary respiratory alkalosis, which puts our body into shock, which then triggers our body to wait, I can't send out this histamine response right now. I'm trying to figure out what to do to survive. So in that moment, I took the opportunity to take a bite of tomato, then immediately did another round of breath work. Now, this is slowly starting to train the immune system and the nervous system that it cannot respond in the ways that it had learned to do that to a tomato. Now again, the antihistamine I was on, the Ketotifen, helped to bring down the inflammation in the body so that I did not have the lining stuff going on. I was also doing the Chinese naturopathy and the brain retraining to help bring my body down, and futurizations is a part of that, to stay my body is healthy. And it's more than just a thought, it's putting the action to it, as in doing breath work and stuff like this in conjunction with it. So I was over time able to literally get rid of every single food allergy and sensitivity that I had, and they were immense. There was a time when I was literally just eating green vegetables, cooked green vegetables like broccoli, any cruciferous vegetable, and meat. That was it. Zero carbs, nothing. I could not digest anything, and everything would cause a candida response, a food allergy, everything. I'm telling you, I was barely alive. And I was able to pull myself back from this through using these methods. They're extremely powerful. Please reach out to me if you have more questions. I would love to work with you if you're at a place where you feel like you want to start doing this yourself, and you want some coaching and some help to get through this, just where to start, what are the things you want to work on. I'd love to talk to you. Reach out to me here in the comments. Reach out to me on Instagram at kimbers.new.frequency. I would love to talk to you. This has literally changed my life, and I want to work with you if you're ready to work with yourself to help change yours. And I hope that you just got something from this video, whatever the reason that it is that you're watching this, because it changed my life. I hope that you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.